would be accepted as written.
Do I have a second? Okay. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. Phil, do you want to give a police report?
And,
Wanna wait till-
Johnny, turn the cameras on.
Yeah. You want to give a report?
Hey, Willie.
I think I would probably just defer to the. I know the director was going to introduce herself. I would probably just defer to her for introduction
Okay.
at this point.
Hey, Rizzo,
Okay. All right.
what up, Rizzo?
How are you, sir?
You gotta be
Good.
quiet, John.
All right.
Impossible.
You gotta be quiet, John. Otherwise, I have to mute you.
Okay, sir.
Okay. I have the honor of introducing our new police director. If I pronounce your name wrong, I apologize, but it's Quovella Spruill. Is that how you pronounce the last name?
Sproul.
Spruill. Okay, Spruill. She was appointed recently. She comes very highly recommended. I have a resume which could take about 2 hours, so very briefly, she was a mentor in Highland Park. She was a lecturer, or she is a part-time lecturer at Rutgers University. She was a chief of detectives in the Essex County Prosecutor's Office. She was a deputy chief of directors, and it goes on and on. She has an excellent reputation. Up to this point, I hear nothing but good about her. So we have an excellent new director of public safety. So I'm going to open the floor to you, Madam Director, and you can tell Human Relations Commission a little bit about yourself and your commissions and your goals, and how the Human Relations Commission can help you, and what your current community outlook is right now.
Okay,
You have the floor, Madam.
thank you. Thank you. Good evening, everyone. Thank you. I would just like to say I have been very appreciative of the welcome that I am receiving from the Franklin community. Even during the, the upset that we had with COVID and then with the protests, everyone has been very, very welcoming and gracious as much as they could. We do a lot of communicating through Zoom, through emails, through phone calls. And, we went back to the good old way of writing letters. I actually sent letters out I started with our faith-based organizations and leaders. And of course, things got go back to my letter writing to our community leaders. That would probably include many of you on the committee. The police, I'm sorry.
By the way, being I just wanted to tell you that. Okay.
Okay, not a problem.
Meeting.
It's in law enforcement, you always assume you're being recorded. I pretend I always have on a body cam, so it's great.
We are recording at the request of the IT department.
Okay, sounds good. So it has been 2 months since I started in the Franklin Police Department as the public safety director. It feels like I've been here longer, but that's a good thing. It's not that it's laborious. It's just that, I just kind of smelted my way into the department, mixing with the other officers and the command staff and also with the community. So I do feel right at home. You said a little bit about my background. I did retire from the Essex County Prosecutor's Office as the Chief of Detectives in 2018. So I had a little bit of time off. I still am an adjunct professor at Rutgers University. It's just one of my passion in terms of law enforcement. I like to talk to young criminal justice students, letting them know, the real side and the practical side of law enforcement and criminal justice. So I'm married. I have two children, 14 and 17. I live approximately 7 miles from the job. So although I'm on the other side of the water, I still consider myself as part of the Franklin community because I, prior to this job, I did frequent Franklin. So during the first 2 months in the Franklin Police Department, what I find is that there are a lot of great officers here, and really what they were craving was leadership. And I think it's more, um, they were looking for someone who could just guide them and go to the next step because they had the vision, they had some ideas, they needed someone who helps them push forward and implement them. So we are planning a very vigorous community policing program. We're looking to find a location down in Area 1 where our office can call a home. We're looking to do several events. I have Lieutenant Reiner and Sergeant Heaven. They are in charge of our community policing program. I know everyone knows it as the neighborhood policing team, but we are planning to keep it simple and just call it, community policing or community enforcement. We'll launch our new name and our new officers and detectives as soon as that happens. We are going to have our summer youth program. It's a little modified, but that is still going forward. We are preparing our cadet and police explorers program. We had a lieutenant from Rutgers. She specializes in community policing. She's also a very good friend of mine and train our officers to give them ideas about how our program should look. So it will be very professional. I did a police department survey, and I was proud of that because over, I believe, 70% of the officers did respond to it, and they had some great ideas. It's just a basic survey when you start a new job. You talk to the employees about what they like about their job, what are some things they would change. And believe it or not, a lot of the things they want I already had in mind in terms of sprucing up the locker rooms and just giving the inside a nice little facelift. And these are things they're going to do on their own as well, which is good because I feel like when you paint and when you help, decorate and you help have an input into how you want your office space or workspace to look, I think you have more ownership in it as well. Going forward, we have a lot of short-term and long-term goals. I mean, most of the short-term goals are, getting our computer equipment up to pace in terms of doing certain programming and calculating data for us. We're looking at hiring new officers. We did post for that. We post for dispatchers. We post for class threes, which is the school officers. So we're looking at doing that. And right after the 4th of July, we should start the interview process for those individuals that submitted their resumes. Long-term goals, we are exploring body cams. We are exploring tasers, more supervision training, because I really do believe in treating the officers not just as police officers, but as professionals. Because, I always give the example, if you're dressed in a nice suit, I mean, you're not going to want to rough anyone up or get into a fight. You're going to use your head and thinking and your words to deal with the community and deal with our customers, which are the community. So I am open to any questions. That has been 2 months. Is like I said, it feels like I've been here much longer. I could go on for days of the things that we are doing and have done. Tell you, he will put his hair loss on me.
What are your goals right now?
Short-term goals to hire. Are looking to hire 8 new officers. We're looking to do promotions. We have a promotions ordinance that's going to, I moved to get revised, submitted rather. hiring is key so that we can do other things because move um, section to another so quick. I wanted to create a new community policing team. I couldn't put 10 people in there because then we would be 10 officers from another section. So, we're taking baby steps, but we are getting things done. So hiring and creating community policing programs, new community policing programs on top of the old ones that we already did. And then, like I said, long-term body cams and tasers. And also, what I didn't mention? Succession planning. And I think we're in a space right now where we're looking for, we need supervisors, we need officers. If you have a succession plan, you already have people, that are kind of in the pipes to or to hire. So we're going to be better with that.
Okay, you're all on,
Derek, you may want to mute the mic because there's some puppy barking around. So if people want to speak, they can put up a hand and then we can unmute.
okay. Who has a question? Does anybody have a question?
I have a question.
Hey, Willie, go ahead.
Yes, how you doing, Director School?
I'm good.
Community policing is kind of broad. Can you just give us how that would be? The police that you're looking to hire, they're from around the community, or they're going to introduce themselves to our community? Or they just going to be in their cars?
So I'm trying. What was I caught parts of your question. You said, are the police officers going to mix in the community or are they just going to be in their cars?
To the community. We used to have a bicycle patrol that used to introduce itself to the community.
Mm-hmm.
And that could just be riding around in the cars, or our youth need to know the police, and the police, I feel, need to know our youth in our community. So, what is your well, just give me a quote. What is your idea of community policing?
So I'll tell you what we're thinking in terms of community policing. We are thinking about school partnerships. We want to definitely get into the high school. Obviously, we have the school resource officer that is in the high school, but we are looking to do projects with the school. So just, and excuse me, but my days blend now. I think it was a week or two ago, we did a panel discussion with the schools and the police because, the kids felt that, they're out of school and there wasn't a lot of talk about the Floyd incident because it's not in the schools right now. So we did a panel discussion with the 6th through 12th grade and it was myself, one of our detectives, Detective Leah, she was on the call as well. We did a panel discussion on Zoom last Thursday night. And was it last Thursday or the Thursday before? I'm sorry. Last Thursday, Phil? I don't know if anyone saw that, but we had over 3,000 views on that. And during that panel discussion, there was police officers on that as well. So I then bike patrol, officers are asking to do the bike patrol because guess what? They're very health conscious also. They look forward to going out, mingling with the community and being on their bikes as well. I may have a little bit of a fight if we buy 10 bikes for the bike patrol because the officers want to do that. So it's getting involved with the community. We're talking about a citizens academy, the youth academy. We're talking about doing senior safety and fraud awareness. We're looking at the national program, My Brother's Keeper, that President Obama originated. They have only one other department that does it. That's within Newark. We want to do it out of the police department. Our community policing unit, they want to do something like that. They want to partner with that. So there's a lot of different ways. We want to target the young to the older.
I just want to say this here. We got a student center being developed. It will soon be here. And we would like officers that are familiar with our community and familiar with our youth that may not have reached the high school level yet. But we'd like for our young community to grow up knowing the police and the police develop knowing our young youth also. That's all I had.
I agree. I agree totally. And I say this, I want the kids to knock on our door looking for the officers. That is what I see one day. That's what I want. Not just when they get in trouble. Come by the police department because they want to see our officers because them.
Phone, I gotta mute you.
Okay. Welcome to the Franklin family.
Thank you, sir.
Director, if I could just chime in with that as well. We're going to be starting a cadet program. In addition to the youth academy we do in the summer, we're actually going to be starting a cadet program to reach out to the youth and start them into the folds of the department. And that again will be under Sergeant Heaven.
What's the age of that again, Bill? Sorry.
I believe they're looking to target the high school age children and or young adults. Actually, I don't want to call them children because they are young adults. The young adults and introduce them to law enforcement and what we do and you know, hopefully be able to guide them if they did want to follow a career in law enforcement.
Right. But we're talking with Dr. Ravalli. Trust me, we are going to be with the kids. I believe it begins in about fourth grade when real cops can have a large impact on the lives of students and kids.
This is Edna. Welcome.
Go ahead, Edna, go ahead.
The youth program and the cadet program, are both of them new?
Before you go on, and just a minute, Mr. Mayor, are you on with us tonight? Mr. Mayor? Go ahead, Edna.
You know he is.
Okay.
My question,
Okay, go ahead, Edna. I'm sorry.
well, welcome again, Director. My question was the youth program and the cadet program, are those brand new or are they hybrids of what we've had in the past?
So the youth academy, that is something that you do every year in the summertime. The cadet program, they are developing, the officers are developing a curriculum with some grad students from Rutgers. So that will look new. And so that will have some very contemporary topics that they will cover. The youth program, summer youth program rather, they go through like a summer youth police academy, so to speak. Like they have outside exercises and then they also have classwork.
How has that program been adapted to this age of COVID?
Good question. So it's a smaller group this year. I believe the cap is 16 to 20 students. Of course, we are using social distancing. They will have masks. They will be in a classroom that is well ventilated with masks and 6 or more feet apart amongst the students. So if need be, I believe talking to the sergeant that's over that, Indiano, that they to do 2 classrooms just to keep the group smaller. Mm-hmm.
That's correct, Director. They're going to be doing it in shorter sessions with multiple classrooms where they'll kind of go from station to station to keep the group smaller.
And keep in mind, everything that we're doing, community policing wise, we are keeping in mind the, the COVID restrictions. We are keeping in mind, like, what will it look like if we can't meet in person? So even with the cadet and the Police Explorers program, I told the lieutenant, make sure that we have a virtual aspect also in case, we have to modify at some point.
And one other question. I think the mental health of everyone is should be a priority always, but especially in these last few months. What are we doing for the the health of our police officers?
So we have throughout the township a employee assistance program that is in effect right now. That has been in effect. We are also. I was just on a call today with some law enforcement executives developing a policing curriculum for in-service training for officers, and a couple of the topics are emotional intelligence, officer safety, wellness, because I've said this, and I don't want to sound like a broken book. Police officers are human also. They have just like everyone else, they have good days and bad days. The only difference is they cannot bring their bad day to work. They cannot. They have to remain professional, and they have to do the right thing because their life and other people's lives depend upon it. So, we are definitely feeding that. We are definitely being very vigilant. The training has been, again, like I said before, because of COVID, we're modifying things, but it's on a plate.
Mr. Rector, my name is Ritika. I'm from the high school commissioner here.
Gotta speak louder. Gotta speak louder, Ithaca.
Can't hear at all.
That's our student. You have to speak a little louder.
Good evening, Mr. Rector. My name is Ritika. Can you guys hear me now?
How come you can't hear?
Go ahead. I can hear.
Okay, she can.
Well, Mr. Rector, my question to you is, a lot of us, amid the pandemic, etc., how are 4th of July celebrations gonna look like? Because I know the police department usually looks into all that stuff and is highly involved in safety and security of all things.
Yeah, but it's hard for us to hear her.
I'll repeat what she says. I'll repeat it. Go ahead. Okay, finish. You want to know what is the 4th of July celebrations going to look like this year?
That's a high school student, by the way.
I do know right now they are not doing the fireworks for the 4th of July. We're looking to do something else with fireworks in the fall, maybe National Night Out with the police or something like that. But I do not believe we are doing fireworks. So yeah, we're not. Okay. But again, we're planning on doing something else later. So you might just have to stay at home and do something in the backyard with your friends and family.
Any other questions from anybody?
Yes, I have a statement whenever, when they get finished.
Okay, Johnny.
You let me know when I can talk, Gary.
Go ahead, John. Go ahead, John. Ask.
I can go ahead now, answer a question.
Go ahead, ask.
Ask the question. Oh, wait a minute. It wasn't exactly a question. Okay. Miss Brew, congratulations coming to Franklin Township. You have all my greatest congratulations of coming to a very progressive town. Now, with all the things that's going on in this country today, in terms of Black Lives Matter and the police departments, I want you to understand that we have Franklin Township's finest police officers. I want you to understand that. We have a relationship with the police department we've always had for the past several years. One of your buddies there, Phil Vizzo, was one of my partners, he was one of my buddies, okay? Now, we have some plans coming out of Franklin Township for not only this township, but every township across the country in terms of saving young Black men's lives. We're into saving young Black men's lives.
What's your question, Johnny?
Okay, if you want to put into a question form,
Yeah, please.
I would say that
Go ahead.
Officer Chief Spruill, do you know Shirley Spruill?
do not.
You don't know, you don't know Shirley Sproul. Okay, good. That's one good thing already. That's one good thing already. All right, Gary, now you know as well as I do that we have plans for Franklin Township, and we're gonna have to run them through the police chief. Number one, we're trying the business of trying to save young black men's lives. All right. Number one, we want a police community relations bureau. That means a building autonomously run in the black community, run by the police, and Phil Rizzo could be a good guy to be the chief of that particular officer, along with some other black officers. They will relate to the community. The young kids will grow up knowing those officers in the community. The officers will allow those kids to grow up. They will recognize the police will recognize them. That will prevent violence. They will grow up together. That's a police relationship we want to happen. Number two, if you have any excess money within the police department, we want the police department to fund a work training center for all of our young men. We have lost 10 young men in the past 20 years in this community. It was all because they didn't have a job. They didn't have no job. So I want you to support a work training center in Franklin Township so that we can save men's lives. Number three, we want the young men to go into the military service. That is the plans that we run into the Black Lives Matter that's coming out of Franklin Township. That's our proposal to the Franklin Township Police Department. Thank you.
Things you asked me for, I think the only thing that I can probably have having the officers involved with the youth and doing things to make sure that the young men and women, kids in our community.
Go too.
I'm sorry. Get to know the police officers. So the other things that you are mentioning, I believe are outside of our wheelhouse. And, I learned how to stay in my lane. I'm more than willing to help in any way I can, but those other things that you asked for are not something that I could physically do.
Okay. Does anyone else have a question? Because
Yes, I do.
Who is that?
Linda.
Okay.
Okay, first I'd like to say, good
Linda,
evening,
go.
Director Spool.
Who's
And,
that dog? Who has the dog? I have to mute you.
okay, it's me.
Oh, so I have to mute you then. Go ahead. Go ahead, Linda. Go ahead.
Okay. All right, I have my water bottle to squirt my dog to stop her from barking. Okay, well, first I'd like to say, good evening, Director Sproul, and thank you for being a part of Franklin Township. So far, I've heard a lot of good things about you. You're doing a good job, fantastic job so far. So I want you to keep up the good work. And if there's anything I can do to help you or any team or something you want to put together and would like my help, I'm here to help you.
Okay, I appreciate it. We appreciate it. Thank you.
Thank you, Linda.
Okay.
Anyone else have any questions?
Question to Lieutenant Rizzo. Willie Goods here.
Go, Willie.
How you doing, Willie?
How you doing? Listen, what's the criteria for the cadet program? And where could you get a registration application?
They're in the process of working through that right now. I know that we just registered through the national program, and once they're still in the development phase, once that is solidified, that will be broadcast everywhere. We will make sure that there is no secret as to how people can get involved in that.
It was mentioned by Director Sproul that the community should get to know the police, but I think it's very important for the police to know the community, especially young ones. So are they going to have not revolving police working with the youth, or police that can identify with the youth that they can grow with?
Well, and again, I don't want to speak on behalf of the director, but I know we've had many conversations about this, and we're very much about contingency planning, number one, but number two, we want it to be a situation where every officer is part of the community, not just select officers. And that's our goal, is to get everyone involved. It's not just going to be community teams. It's going to be some of the new bureaus that we're starting, and there's going to be a lot more involvement that you're going to see.
And so that is what.
On what Mr. did say, there's a lot going on in our country now with the police and the community.
Yeah.
And trusting in our police, and the police moral, how do I say, morale, so we need to know how to work with you and how to develop a better understanding with the community and build police morale and also community trust.
So understand, and I want to explain a little bit about the community policing philosophy that we have. Yes, we are going to have a community policing unit, because that's their primary function to develop the programming. But community policing is about every single officer in the department getting involved with the community. So it's not specific cops, it's every cop. Every cop has to develop that connection. And if they don't agree with that, this is not going to be the right place to work with me in charge. So that is our philosophy. So yes, when I say we already have a plan, when we have an event, how we're going to combine everyone to do it. It's not just going to be those 4, 5, or 6 officers that's a part of that unit. So just be clear, when we say community policing, it's not just a certain group of cops, it's everyone. And that is what law enforcement has, I should say, not gotten wrong, because the initial community policing was about every cop being community police officers. It wasn't just a certain section. And then somewhere along the way, I don't know how we got into just a group of officers doing that, but it's everyone, every single one.
Okay, any other questions for our police director? You can hear now that the Human Relations Commission is an active commission, and anything we can do to help you, Lieutenant Carrizo knows us very well, and if you need anything from us, please don't hesitate to call upon us, please.
I thank you, absolutely. So it has been a very long day for me. I've been down to Trenton and back, and met.
Okay, we're gonna let you go.
Yes,
we're thank you so much, and we thank you so much for this.
Every officer in the department, Mr. Rosenthal, just so they know what you guys know also. They know my philosophy, and they know straight from my mouth exactly what's going on. So I've been busy doing that since I've been back. So I have one more officer to meet with, and I'm gonna call it a night finally.
Okay, well, thank you very much. I really enjoyed watching all the policemen out aside lifting their right hands last week when you gave them your little speech. That was a great thing to see. So thank you very much. And as I said before, please call upon us at any time. Okay?
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you, everyone. Good night.
Good night. Okay, we're going to continue our meeting. Okay, we're gonna continue our meeting. I don't have that much. I talked to Anne Marie McCarthy today about the census, and she's going to contact you, Edna, because she would. They're in the process of putting up signs throughout the township and she will talk to you about that, Edna, and you can call her if you have, if you also have it, okay? Um, we have appointed a new junior commissioner. I still have to talk to him, but we had 4 applications, which were all very good. So Nora and I, with the subcommittee, we went over all of the resumes and we picked one, and I will announce it to you before our next meeting, which is July 22nd. I don't have anything to report on the youth center. Do you have anything to report on that, my council liaison at all? Anything new to report on that at all?
No, for the construction is continuing at the youth center. Other than that, there's nothing new that we talked about. I just want to go back to the census issue that you brought up, Gary.
Okay.
We are we could be doing much better in terms of certain pockets in town. I'm hoping that we can somehow find a way to enhance participation of those areas so that we report all the people in town, which, as you know, is very important to get the assistance from the federal government, our share of funds. That we can do only if we can double up our efforts to bring those accounts in.
Okay, thank you so much. The last thing that I want to report, I've been asked by the township, we, as you know, are under ordinance by the township council to have 12 human relation commissioners. And they've asked me if we could possibly increase that. But in order to increase it, that I have to have the township council pass another ordinance, which our liaison is going to take care of. Once we get that ordinance passed, they would like some younger people from the community, not the high school people, but the younger people from the community become commissioners. So once we get the authorization for the increase of commissioners, we're going to reach out to the community. If any of you have any potential names, please send me their names and I will contact them. As I told you, the community has asked for the younger people to, because they want some younger people in the community a part of us. Not the high school people, that's something else, but so we are gonna increase our roles. Now,
May I just expand on that a little bit? So the thought came from the recent protest march and the Juneteenth celebration. If you watched the video or if you participated in it, you would have noticed that lots of young people were there. So they are energized. They want to get involved in the society. So we felt that perhaps that is a chance for us to get more youth involved in our commission.
okay, thank you. Before,
Gary, hi,
who's that?
Gary.
Yes,
This is Alex.
okay, go ahead, Alex.
Everyone.
Alex has had some problems getting on, so he's on the telephone, and that's why I can't put him on the a normal slot, but I just unmuted him. Alex has been active with the Interfaith Council with all these things that are happening. And okay, Alex.
Thank you very much. Hello, everybody. I'm sorry I couldn't get in. I think there was another of the members who couldn't also. He had the same problem that I did. But in any case, I just wanted to share a couple of things that we have done from the Interfaith Council. First of all, we have held a couple of vigils. We had statements that we issued condemning what happened to Mr. Floyd. And we are working to come up with some actions to fight the systematic racism. And this is the Interfaith Council that is doing with the, from Hillsborough, us, and several, the Somerset County, basically, various houses of worship. One thing that Gary, I was asked a couple of times is that what is a Human Relations Commission is doing to, against the systematic racism. What are we doing as HR to basically fight systematic racism? Are there something that we can do together for, as an HR group, HRC?
Hello, Alex?
Yes. Yes.
All
You
right.
can hear me?
Yeah, I mean, what I said,
Yeah, so the
that's
question-
possibly that the next time you have your meeting, that you contact us and if you want us to be part of the meeting, let us know,
the question actually was to the HR Commission. People were asking, what is HRC doing to combat systematic racism? Are there things that we should do as HRC?
Okay, well.
Gary, maybe you can get input from the community. You can maybe bring some local leaders to discuss issues, how we can find some ways to communicate.
Okay, all right.
As those are the things Alex is talking about, right, Alex?
Yeah, what I'm correct. The question is, different groups are doing different things, of course. And as I said, the Somerset County Interfaith Coalition also is doing certain, actions. We have invited, for example, Director Freeholder to join us. We have members of NAACP, and we have different members of different faith groups, as well as the Senate, senators and assemblymen. We're trying to come up with some doable steps that we can take to raise awareness about the systematic racism and help our community, to really reject racism. So the question is, what can we do as HRC? We can, whatever you think, I guess we can brainstorm maybe, but, people are looking at Human Relations Commission members to do something to basically fight systematic racism.
What I suggest, Alex, is that I'll have you, I'll appoint you as a subcommittee, and, we need that kind of direction from the Township Council. So if the council comes to us and has a specific question, we're happy.
Gary, no.
That is one option, Gary.
All you got to do is support Johnny Tibbs' plan. He's a Human Relations Commissioner. That's all you got to do.
No.
Sorry, John, what was it?
All you got to do is support Johnny Tibbs' plan. There's a plan already out there. As a commissioner, I'm asking for the commissioner's support to support Johnny Tibbs' plan. That's how you
Okay,
combat
so
systematic racism.
All right.
John, what I suggest to everyone is if John has something already, looks like there is a plan, maybe we can review that plan and see which one of those we can really promote, and then we can tell the council that we HRC is looking to promote this particular action to help to eradicate systematic racism. Is that something acceptable?
Yes.
I think it has to come from the commission. I think rather than looking for direction from the council, I think we have to put our heads together and come up with a plan and recommend.
Exactly.
All right.
Exactly.
So between Alex and Johnny, why don't you prepare the plan, and for our next meeting, I'll put it on the agenda, and we hopefully can go ahead with it, Johnny and Alex. Okay.
All I can say is some of the leaders of that came to the town, the Black Lives Matter, they've already endorsed it. They like it very much.
Okay, well,
John, I think if you share that plan with everybody, with all the members of the HRC,
exactly,
whatever the plan is, so share with us. If
yes,
you
sir.
share, then we will look into it, we'll study, and the next meeting, we can do a brainstorm on that plan and see how we can support that plan.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
If there's something that we cannot support, what other elements that we have that we can support. But I think it will be great if the HRC comes up with something to show that we really care about this important issue.
Okay.
Yes,
all right. So up with that, and I'll put it on the agenda for the July 22nd meeting. Now, I am not sure if the township will be open on July, so we might have to have another meeting on Quebex again, which is a real, because I spent
Gary, I think Gary,
go ahead.
Gary, I think the July meeting will be just basically review and finalize what we wanted to present to the township.
Okay.
And then later on after that, whenever that you can introduce through our councilman to the township council, and then if they approve it, then we can work on it. So I think we have time.
Okay, very good. All right. Before I cancel the meeting, I just want to make sure that I've covered everyone who's been here. Nora was here, Edna, Willie, Johnny Tibbs, Milo was not here. Linda Williams, Alice Carassi. Tom DeGancy, are you here, Tom? I believe you are. Are you here, Tom? Tom DeGancy, are you on? Okay, so you're here also. Okay, all right. Go ahead, Willie.
Okay, Gary. We need to know more about what Johnny Tibbs' plan is.
Okay.
And so forth. So before our July meeting, can we get some information on that plan?
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah, I think Johnny is going to be sending that out. I'm hoping that very soon, maybe this week, he will send a copy to everybody, and then we will have time to review. And then either we can respond to Gary before our meeting, our thoughts about it, or we can discuss it during the meeting.
Okay.
But I'm hoping to get that plan as soon as possible so we can see what it is.
Okay, Johnny.
Can I make a suggestion, Gary?
Sure, go ahead.
Commissioner Venke I would suggest maybe be in the subcommittee with Alex and Johnny. He's got experience in running some programs for matters like this. I think he's an excellent moderator. If we have to do any sort of roundtable discussions or whatever,
Okay.
do that. So I think maybe we can put in his ideas into this document. So I think that might be good. I'm just volunteering you, Venki.
Okay with that, Becky? You okay with that, Becky?
I'm fine with that.
I agree, ma'am. I agree.
I'm okay with that.
Are you okay with that, Becky?
Yes, I am, Gary.
Okay, very good. So you're on the subcommittee with Mr. Tibbs. What you can do is you can email or you can call Mr. Tibbs and he'll be happy to work with you.
And I'd like to hear about it too, Gary.
Okay.
Is there anything else we have to talk about? I just want to make sure that Tom Gansey is on. Are you on, Tom?
Yes.
Okay, great. Okay, very good. So if no one else has anything, as I indicated, I am not sure if in July we'll be meeting in the conference room or we'll be back to this WebEx.
Probably something, man. It's bad.
But I can tell you that the man that is in charge of the WebEx or the IT department, Robert McQueen, he was a great help to me because he helped me organize this whole meeting. So I thank you all for being on the call. If there's anything that you need, please email me. Does anyone else have any questions?
We need an update of the student center.
I'm sorry?
We need an update on the student center.
Yeah, because I haven't heard anything, and we have to talk to
Hey, Gary. Hey, Gary, Johnny Tip here. I went past, hey, Willie, a couple of times I went past there, and they were like doing nothing, man. Like the whole thing had been suppressed down to nothing. There wasn't nobody doing nothing. So I was kind of concerned myself. They said they had some type of construction breakdown or something. I don't know what was going on. But I can tell you yesterday I went back past her, and like everything is moving forward now.
Okay.
For about a month, but nothing going on.
Okay, well.
Was suspended in the state.
Excuses, Gary, and they need to stop that because our community is really hurting.
Well,
there's a lot going on, and we need to confront it and face it.
I hear you, Willie. What I'll do is I'll email Kimberly and I'll just look for an update. Okay, that's all I can do right now.
Thank you.
Okay,
and
so
let me tell you guys, the young black community is in bad shape. They ain't got no jobs. They ain't got nowhere to go. They can't socialize in the parks. We're going to be put out the parks. They have no recreation whatsoever. I'm just hoping that I can just keep a cap on them. They really don't have nothing to do, and they have nowhere to go.
Okay, what's
going to happen?
We hear you loud and clear, Johnny.
Okay, thank you.
I will accept a motion to adjourn the meeting, and our next meeting is July 22nd. We're going to hear from Venki and from Johnny Tibbs about their plan. I'll speak to Kimberly about the youth center, and I thank you all for the meeting tonight. Okay.
Before we go, I would just like to say, Gary, that I want Johnny to get in touch with me so I can try to help out however I can.
Okay.
That'll be fine.
Okay.
Fine.
But
Fine.
we are going to get a report, right, on what the plan looks like before the July meeting, so we have time to digest it.
Yes. Hey, Edna, I'm by myself now, and I'm an old man, but I'll try to get the administratively get it done. Okay.
Well, I mean, if you need help putting it down on paper, I mean, we can all help on some aspect
yes.
of that.
Okay. Thank you, guys. Thank you.
No,
Thank you.
Gary,
Okay.
thank you for your
Do I have
leadership.
to adjourn? Do I have a motion to adjourn?
Thank you for your leadership,
Thank you,
Gary.
everyone.
thank you, Gary, for arranging this.
Okay.
By the way, Gary, just for your information, Connie had asked us to give him some face masks to distribute to the community, and we gave it to him too.
Okay,
Thank
great.
you, Alex. I meant to tell you. Thank you, Alex. Thank you.
You're
Great. Okay.
I make a motion to close the meeting.
Okay. I'm gonna cancel the meeting.
I registered 53 people, y'all.
Thank you all.
Thank you all. Good night.
Take good care, everyone. Take care of
Good night.
yourselves.
Stay safe, y'all. Stay safe.
Yes, be
Sure,
safe.
you're
Good night, all.
fine.
Make sure you wear your mask.
Good night, all. Gonna cancel the meeting.
Okay.
Bye.
Good night, all.
Good night.
Night.
Thanks, Linda.